When the office feels like a battlefield, complex PTSD in the workplace. It's 9:12 a.m. Your supervisor sends a message. Can we talk for a minute? Two neutral sentences, but your heart rate spikes. Your palms sweat. Your mind races ahead to catastrophe. You are not thinking about performance metrics. Instead, you're thinking about survival. This is what happens when complex post-traumatic stress disorder walks into the workplace with you, because trauma does not clock out and the nervous system does not distinguish between the childhood threat and a corporate hierarchy. My name is Fawzia Faizi Shah, licensed clinical social worker. Complex PTSD, first conceptualized in the context of prolonged interpersonal trauma, psychiatrist Judith Herman, is not simply about painful memories. It's about chronic nervous system dysregulation. It's about living in a body that anticipates danger even in environments designed for collaboration. The modern workplace contains constant micro-evaluations, performance reviews, authority hierarchies, deadlines, social comparison, ambiguous communication. For a regulated nervous system, these are just stressors. But for a trauma-shaped nervous system, they can be perceived as existential threat. When feedback appears, the survival brain activates before logic even has a chance to intervene. Complex PTSD impacts workplace relationships in very predictable patterned ways. Not because of incompetence, but because the neurobiological adaptation, authority, sensitivity, workplaces are structured around hierarchy. For individuals with historic or histories of chronic interpersonal trauma, especially involving authority figures, supervisors may unconsciously trigger trauma templates. The brain encodes past power dynamics. So when a manager gives corrective feedback, the body may experience emotional flashbacks, shame flooding, disassociation, and hyperarousal. The response may look like defensiveness, withdrawal, over-apologizing, or over-explaining, but internally it is a limbic alarm. The nervous system is asking, am I safe? Number two is the rejection sensitivity and hypervigilance. Complex PTSD often includes heightened interpersonal threat detection. This can manifest as overanalyzing tone in emails, catastrophizing neutral comments, misinterpreting ambiguity as criticism, scanning for exclusion. This process is rooted in neuroception, a term coined by Stephen Porges within the polyvagal theory. Neuroception is the nervous system's unconscious evaluate for safety or threat. In trauma survivors, neuroception can become biased towards threat even in safe professional interactions. A coworker, for example, forgetting to say good morning may feel like rejection. A delayed response may feel like abandonment. The workplace becomes an environment of constant vigilance. The vigilance is exhausting. And perfectionism as survival strategy. Many individuals with complex PTSD develop very high achievement behaviors. Perfectionism is not vanity. It is often a trauma adaptation. If I've performed flawlessly, I cannot be attacked. But perfectionism is fueled by cortisol and fear, not confidence, which leads to burnout, workaholism, difficulty delegating, intolerance of mistakes. The person may be praised for productivity while internally living in a chronic stress activation. And then the conflict avoidance or the reactivity, because trauma disrupts emotional regulation, Conflict at work can trigger disproportionate nervous system responses. Some individuals collapse into hypoarousal, emotional shutdown, compliance, silence, disassociation, and others escalate into hyperarousal, irritability, defensive communication, intense emotional tone. Neither response reflects the character. They reflect the autonomic state shifts outside the window of tolerance. And then there's the impaired trust and attachment in teams. Healthy workplace relationships require secure relational functioning, trust, mutuality, psychological safety. But with a complex PTSD can impair mentalization under stress. So what is mentalization? It is the ability to understand that others have separate internal states. When dysregulated, the brain defaults to threat attributions. Intent is misread. Colleagues become perceived adversaries. Or alternatively, the individual becomes overly accommodating, fear abandonment by the team. This creates a very unstable relational dynamics, not because the person lacks professionalism, but because their attachment system is activated inside professional structures. Here is something that is of value. Complex PTSD does not mean that you are incapable of thriving professionally. It means your nervous system was trained for survival in unsafe environments, and workplaces with power dynamics and evaluation can unconsciously resemble those environments. But neuroplasticity remains intact. Good news. Brain can relearn safety. Healing in the workplace begins with awareness. This reaction is my nervous system protecting me. Quote, end of quote. Not that I am weak. Regulation skills involve breath work, somatic grounding, cognitive reframing, re-engage the prefrontal cortex, and reduce the amygdala overactivation. Therapeutic interventions such as mindful meditations, cognitive behavior therapy, earthing demonstrated reduction in trauma reactivity, and organizational culture matters. Logical safety, communication, consistent feedback, respectful system threat perceptions across teams. When individuals with complex PTSD receive safe, consistent professional interactions, their nervous system recalibrates, trust becomes possible, collaboration becomes sustainable, and productivity no longer depends on fear, because trauma may follow you into the office, but so can healing. And when healing enters the workplace, performance becomes grounded in regulation. Authority no longer feels like danger. Feedback no longer feels like annihilation. And work becomes what it was meant to be, contribution and not survival. Thank you for watching my video, and if you like, subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and leave a comment for me. Thank you so much.